Hi guys, I'm back from Japan. I went to Evo Japan, and that's why I've not been uploading. In case you guys should know. If you didn't know, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault. But yeah, I'm back from Japan. Sorry for lack of uploads. I was meant to be doing a bunch of shorts and stuff, but like schedule, it was hard. I'm back. I'm also a pro Tekken player for Mouse now. I'm a Mouse sports guy. A lot has gone on. Also, there was a patch, and that's what I want to talk about today. There was a patch. A patch happened, and I have gone through the patch notes myself. Generally, spoiler alert, I think it's good. I think they're moving in a good direction. I think things are good. I've always said I feel like what they need to do is the reason why I say revert back to season one. Again, that was my fix I said a while ago, is because I think a lot of the new moves they introduce are so problematic and hard to deal with that I feel the best thing to do is remove them. Or like some of the stuff they did, like, you know, running move into stance, like Jin running 3 into stance, Leia running 3 into stance, stuff like that. So what they've gone with is they've ended up just toning that stuff down instead of just removing it outright. I still think removing will be the best thing to do, but they're not going to do that. I don't think they've ever removed moves before once they've been implemented, so I think we just have to deal with it. But yeah, they've just started to turn it down. Leo's running 3 into stance got nerfed in the most recent patch. I believe it's less plus now, and the low from stance is now -13 and +2 on hit instead of +4, so you can interrupt and blah blah blah. So I think a lot of the changes were very good. Heat burst has been nerfed. A lot of heat burst. There were some heat bursts, like Brian, for instance. Brian's heat burst was basically homing. Now you can actually move around them, so that's pretty cool. I think some characters that had good heat bursts, like Brian, for instance, like their tracking is still a bit better. I've not had a lot of time to test it since I've been back, but I played against a lot of Starbreaker yesterday, and his heat burst was still tracking me a bit. But you know, it's times where he was plus instead of, so you know, that's stuff that just over time I'd like to see. But you know, you can now step it. I think characters that didn't have great heat bursts, like Huang, for instance, I know in season 2 they buffed its tracking to the right quite a bit. I thought that was problematic. I think it's very easy to step his heat burst now. I only mentioned Huang because I played him the most. I haven't played against a lot of characters yet. It's the one I have the most experience with. It might be the same across the board for a lot of characters, but I've noticed with Huang, it's a lot harder to implement his heat burst now. Hopefully that's the same across the board. But yeah, those are my first feelings, thoughts, and impressions on the patch. I think it's good. We're just going to show you guys some gameplay as well from me playing, just to like get some, so I have something, you have guys something to see, something to like you know focus on as I yap and I speak. Like this was my stream from yesterday. You see, I'm playing Starbreaker. I played against a lot of characters. I played against Nina. I played against some Kuma. I played against Jin. I played against Joker's Feng. Like there was a lot of me playing yesterday, right? And like my first thoughts and feelings on this patch, I think it's good. I think the patch itself is good. I think they're starting to move in the right direction. I think they're starting to do the right things. I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but I think Harada mentioned something about like replacing the team, or like the team changed. Like the team that did season 2, that gave us season 2, is now a different team doing it now. I don't know if they got fired per se. But I remember I was speaking to someone about this in Japan. Something along the lines of like they wouldn't just fire the team, but like in Bandai Namco they have like different teams working on different things, and it'd be like a shuffle. So like these guys are like over here doing Tekken, and those guys are over there doing, you know, I think it was something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, so I think maybe it's just a different team, because again, there was some decisions that were made in season 2 that like just, I feel like if you made this decision, you shouldn't be here. For instance, like I played against Leo later on in the day. Let's see if we can find the Leo game. It's just random spot. Okay, we're not gonna find it. Here it is, right? I played against Leo. For instance, Leo's back 1-4. That was something they made it so you couldn't step in season 2. You couldn't step back 1-4. Back one's tracking was a lot better. So back one's tracking is nerfed, and you can step in between back 1-4 again. So the good players that have the reactions and the awareness, they'll be able to counterplay that effectively. I think stuff like that is very good. I think removing counterplay was bad. I think that adding that counterplay back into the game, I think that's good. I'm a fan of it. I'm happy to see it. I think they're starting to finally move in the direction that we want. Obviously, there are still a lot of problems in this game. If that's what you're waiting to hear, like, oh, is the game perfect now? It's not perfect now. It's far from it. but we're still getting, you know, I feel like the updates make me feel a lot more confident moving forward that maybe they'll give us what we want to see eventually, right? Like, I think with how much was wrong with season 2 on release, I think again it's just going to take some time for it to be at a level where we're all going to be happy, and I think we're getting close to it. I hope they continue in this direction. Like, again, I think from what I've seen so far in the patch notes, I think it's good. I like what they're doing. From a gameplay perspective, from what I've actually played, there's still a lot of issues. Some characters are still doing a bit too much. Heat smashes, that wall splat are still a thing. I think that's something that I just, again, I think heat smashes are something that they're gonna have to look at individually for all characters and do something about. Me personally, I just think no heat smash should be wall splat. They can maybe trigger into, no, I don't know, they should, I think they just shouldn't wall splat. I think the risk reward is so skewed in the favor of the heat smash that I'm just not really a fan of that, right? Like for instance, I was playing Law. I play against DVP, so I was playing against Law, right? Law's heat smash, 14 frames, mid, tracks to the left. I want to say, I think the right is it weak. It has a weak side. I can't remember which side. I'll check that. But tracks to a side. I can't remember which side it tracks to. I think you step it to the right. But like, and you know, plus on block. You know, I think heat smashes shouldn't be as good as they are on hit, with also having such advantages on block. You know, I think it's a case of they've added so many moves and they keep adding moves where it's like there's no downside to doing it, really and truly. There isn't a downside. I think Steve's back 1+2 was a great example of it when he's in heat. Was it Fox 5 Fury, whatever they call it, right? There's heat smash right there. I was just talking about it. I think that's a big example of it. Like, now that got toned down, it's only +3, I believe, if he goes into stance instead of +11. It was +11 wall splat, mid, chip damage. You know, if Steve did the back 1+2 into heat smash, there's nothing you could do about that interaction. Not a thing. That's an interaction you had to hold it. You could know exactly what he's gonna do. You know he's gonna heat smash. Nothing you could do. The heat smash. I think Steve's heat smash is still homing as well, by the way. And again, example, homing mid. I think I-16 plus on block into stance mix up. You know, I think heat smashes are something that really need to be looked at. They're just way too strong. Like, you know, it's kind of like, I kind of like equate. They're basically, the thing is, how I look at them is they're basically rage drives from Tekken 7. You play Tekken 7, you know what I'm talking about. But rage drives were just really good moves that the mids typically would be plus. Some of them were launches, some of them were wall splat. There were some low rage drives, like Horang had a low rage drive, but it was low mid, and if the low and mid connected, the final mid, it wasn't all natural. Basically, it was just for me personally, the whole point of Horang's rage drive was just to do it to get the plus frames for a right foot forward mix, really and truly. But like, it wasn't overly plus like his heat smashes, for example. I think his heat smashes like, it's +10 plus, it's something like that. And a lot of heat smashes are like that. They are +10 or more. You know, a lot of heat smashes are like that, especially the ones that aren't as fast. The slow ones, like the I-13 was like Kuma's, for instance. Kuma's is 0 on block. I think that's still very good. I think it should be minus. But Kuma's is 0 on block. Jun's is actually, Kuma's is 0. Jun's is minus. I feel like that's kind of how they should be. You should be able to step them. They shouldn't be overly strong on block. The reward should just be from landing on hit. But yeah, like I do equate them to basically being rage drives in Tekken 8. But the difference with rage drives is like you had to choose. It was either you're using your rage drive or you're using your rage up, and that was it. You know, you didn't get both. In this game, you can get both. You can do a heat smash into wall splat, into combo, into rage up. It's a bit much, isn't it? So yeah, I think wall splatting, I think there's a lot that needs to be looked at. I think my #1 change, I think I said this in my last video, I'm gonna echo it here. I think heat needs to be an earned mechanic. Still, I think that's the best way to go about it. But with how strong characters get in heat, I think they are right now toning down the effectiveness of heat. Like, some moves that consume heat are consuming more heat now, so it's harder to really use stuff and keep your heat going and blah blah blah. Also, no character should be able to regain heat, by the way. I don't like that at all with how strong heat is. Again, keep that in mind. Yeah, I think heat needs to be an earned mechanic. Again, my idea for it is you land a heat engager, you know, say your heat bar is empty, you land a heat engager, it fills up to like here, and then you land another one, it goes up to like here and here and here. Like, you have to land your heat engager, then when it's full, you can finally do a heat burst or a heat engage. I think that would be one of the best ways to go about it. Obviously, characters like Heihachi would be negatively impacted by this, but my reaction to that is fuck them. Like, you get fucked. You know, like, that's kind of how I look at it. I think heat is such an issue across the board that, like, it's important to deal with it first. But that's really how I look at it right now. I think heat has to be on a mechanic. I think heat is still too strong. I think also this is quite imbalanced because of how some characters like Panda are now using heat. I think, you know, I think Hwoarang's another character in heat that gets big boons. You know, I think we need to start looking at how either you keep heat exactly as it is, and you know characters are still very strong with it. I think remove the ability to recover heat though, but you keep heat exactly as it is and it's an earned mechanic, or you keep it as it is in terms of active every round, but you have to tone it down like in like an insane level. And I think that's something. I mean, even in season 1 we were saying the same thing. I think heat needs to be toned down, especially for certain characters. Some characters will really going crazy with heat. But yeah, I think, you know, the time is now. I think there's something that really needs to be looked at. Obviously, they said in the patch notes they're monitoring how the game goes. They're monitoring how, you know, the effectiveness of this, the change of this, the health changes, this, that, and the other. They're going to keep an eye on it. But I truly believe we need to start looking at heat as being an earned mechanic. Because even now with the stuff being toned, I think he is still very strong. For instance, like Lars had a very strong heat at the start of season 2. He had the stomp, which, you know, he could do power crush. It was basically a safe low with a mix up. You know, he either does the power crush, or, you know, he does the low, which high crushes, so he can't get thrown if you want to do a throw. But now that doesn't happen anymore. It's now always -12. You know, so the low goes from -14 without heat to -12 when he's in heat. Sure, whatever. They made the stomp faster as well. I think that's another issue as well. A lot of the power lows, the strong lows, that they just made faster. Funny, I played against Lars after this. A lot of the strong power lows that they added in the game, I think those lows need to be slower again. Thank you, CF1, for example. Lars down back 4, the Bears down back 4, Lily slide. I think all of these lows shouldn't be as fast as they are with the reward they give. I think a move like Lars running 1 on block needs to be looked at. You know, I think so, like, because here's the thing, I think they understand why certain things are a problem. Like, take Steve, Fox Fire Fury, Fox back 1+2, for instance. Like, that was a situation where, because it was +11 into Flicker, if he did the back 1+2 into Heat Smash, there's nothing you can do about the interaction. You can sidestep, you can power crush, you can jab, you can interrupt, you couldn't do anything. That was a completely canned sequence you couldn't do anything about. Lars running 1 into Sen 3+4 is another example, right? Like, Lars can do running 1. If you block it, he has access to mids. That mid there, you can't do anything about it. You just have to take the chip damage. You just have to block it. You can't interrupt, you can't power crush, you can't step. I think that is I think that's an issue. So I think that's something else that needs to be looked at. But again, I think that just comes under the umbrella of certain moves that just have to be toned down to change the balance of the game. Really, right? I think there's just certain moves individually that has to be looked at. Again, it's a season 2 move. I wish that they would just remove. Personally, I think Lars running 1, just remove it. His down for 1 extensions, just remove it. I think there's a lot of the season 2 moves, instead of just balancing them, I would just take them out. But I just don't see them doing that. They never do it. It's going to be on my wish list until they do something like crazy. It's going to be on my wish list for the entirety of the rest of the game. Just get rid of these moves. There was no reason to add them. They're just a bit silly. They're a bit doom. I don't like them. I don't like them. I wish they'd get out of my game, go back to where they came from. But it is what it is, right? Like, they are just going to keep trying to balance, and they're just going to keep trying to make them work. I hope they are able to make them work, but you know, until then, I'm going to keep campaigning for them to be removed out of the game. There's obviously other moves that come to mind, but I'm just picking on what I see in front of me because Lars is there. I'm mentioning the Lars moves. If there was another character, I'd mention those too. But yeah, I think that's just how we have to look at the game right now. But for the cliff notes for the TLDR, I think the most recent patch was good. I think they're moving in a good direction. I think I said that like 5 times this video, but I'm happy with what they're doing. I'm not completely satisfied with the state of the game right now, though. I think there's still more that they have to do. I hope they do keep working hard. And if you saw anyone complaining about nerfs and like, whoa, my character got nerfed, publicly shame them. I think they must be publicly shamed. I think with the state of the game right now, we need nerfs. Season 2, that's what we wanted more than anything. We need more nerfs and buffs. That was what everyone was like, yeah, we need this, right? So people are now like, well, my character, they publicly shame them in the streets. And maybe nature will heal itself. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on this video. I'm back. Our regularly scheduled program will be beginning tomorrow. More YouTube shorts, more gameplay. I have a Liza P video I've been working on. Well, actually, I'm not working. I've supposed to be working on it for a couple of weeks now. Rematch video as well. That's a game that when it drops, I want to spend a lot of time on. But obviously, Tekken, gotta compete, gotta qualify, gotta work hard. Shouts to me being the newest player for Mouse. I'm hoping to do a lot of work with them. I'm hoping to qualify. I'm hoping to get back to Saudi again. So yeah, obviously Tekken is going to take a lot of my time, and I am enjoying the game more these days. So that's pretty good. But yeah, there's the other stuff I want to do. Got the Liza P video, got the rematch video, YouTube shorts. You know, I'm just trying to grow. Pause. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. As always, appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one.